Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Talks a Lot Boys. I am your host. My name is Tyler, and I'm joined once again by the lovely Brennan.
What's going on, folks?
And the lovable Kyle.
Okay, alright. I was just like, is it gonna be like the hateful trend? Where like he says something really mean?
No, you're both delights.
Oh, well, thanks.
Everyone knows it at this point.
That was almost in the realm of like insincere.
Almost? It was, I mean, he said something nice. Even if it was fucking hollow, I can appreciate it. It was better than him insulting me.
Interpret it how you will. I stand by what I said.
Yeah, well, fair enough. You're a man of conviction. I dig it.
So, if you haven't noticed by the title of this video, we are once again ranking another Dance Gavin Dance album.
Oh boy.
And I know we actually got requests for this one. We are.
Yeah, we did.
I have to say, I am actually kind of blown away by the support that we're getting on these videos. All the positive feedback in the comments and stuff. Like, man, it means a lot. So thank you all for engaging with us and supporting us in this series of videos. And we hope this one is just as good as the previous ones, if not better. And we're gonna keep this train rolling until we die. I think.
I will die while we record. At some point, it'll happen. It's gonna happen.
So today, we're gonna be going over what a lot of people think is the best DGD album, which is Mothership. And I will say, it's a pretty banging solid album. I definitely think it was kind of the catalyst that pushed them into the level of fame that they're at now. I think Mothership is where they really kind of solidified their sound with Tillian and blasted off into the stratosphere of god tier tunes.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
That being said, I do not think this is the best album. And I guess we'll find out here. Why? In a minute. I just realized that I didn't really explain to the people who haven't watched these videos what we're about to do. So we're going to rank all the songs in this gosh dang album in order from worst to best. This is the life we've chosen to live, putting ourselves in these uncomfortable situations where we have to say that things we like are worse than other things we like. So, yeah.
We're doing it so you don't have to go.
Yeah, we're making the hard choices and choosing them so that you don't have to make those decisions.
Yeah,
obviously,
it's our labor of love to you all.
Oh yeah, and what we say is law. So like obviously there's no other opinion than ours.
Exactly. It's like, we're gonna chisel them into like fucking stone tablets and like bestow them upon the world. This is like what the order we come up with is final.
Yeah.
And we encourage you to put your personal rankings in the comments below because we love to hear your opinions. But this is fucking biblical. Like what we come up with in this shit is the truth.
Yes. Tillian shall go to the top of a mountain. And when he gets there shall be a burning bush. And from it, the three of our voices shall scream out the list of the order of the songs of which they actually are important. And then 2 lovely stone tablets with those written on them shall appear from the heavens. And Tillian shall carry them down and say, this is the word. And that's how it's going to be. It's just how the show goes.
Yeah, they said in Inspire the Liars they were going to start a religion, and, that's it. That's what it is.
Tillian is actually going to go up and take a mean rip of the burning bush.
Yes.
And then he's going to come down and he's just going to level us with the spiritual knowledge of which of these is the best compared to others.
Yes.
So.
But what's really going to happen is we're going to fucking hash this shit out and debate the order. So, as per always, I'm going to lay out the songs in the order that they appear on the album, and then we are going to jump right into it and argue about what's going to take that bottom spot. And boy gosh darn it, I think this is going to be the easiest one we've had yet. So let's jump right into it. First song on the album is Chucky versus the Giant Tortoise.
God damn.
Followed by Young Robot, followed by Frozen One, followed by Flossy Dicky Bounce, followed by Deception, followed by Inspire the Liars, followed by Philosopher King, followed by Here Comes the Winner. just so many bangers right in a row, dear God. Followed by Exposed. Followed by Betrayed by the Game. Followed by Petting Sue Justice. Followed by Chocolate Jackalope. And topped off, topped off, you might say, by Man of the Year. It's a nice reference seed joke. Like Fuck that. You, that was funny.
That was really good.
So
it was clever.
It was very punny, if you will, you know?
Yeah.
So while I think that in general this ranking is going to be pretty tough, I do think that the bottom 2 spots are pretty self-explanatory, which is a first for this series. The last 2, it's like pulling teeth to kind of figure out what song we're going to shove into that bottom placement. But this time, I think it's safe to say that Exposed is going to take the bottom spot. Am I going to have any resistance in throwing that out there?
No. Now, what I will say though is that I do really like Exposed. I know that it's not. I don't know if this is a popular opinion amongst people. I know it is amongst the 3 of us, but we do agree that Exposed is the weakest song on this album. I mean, right, Brennan? I'm pretty sure that we are.
Here's what I have to say about Exposed.
Are you about to defend it?
No.
Okay.
I am going to jump off the top rope and drop an elbow on this song, permanently putting it at my 13th best on this album.
All right, we'll lay it on
So
us.
here's my little monologue. Exposed, my least favorite track. It is the only DG track with absolutely no John Mess involvement whatsoever, and good God, do I hope it's the only one. With what I can best describe as a Tillian solo project saved in the wrong folder on someone's desktop. This song...
That's so brutal.
But it's true. Jesus. This song even has the weakest instrumentals on an album that I hold very dear for being an instrumental work of art. It's also at the level of an interlude to break up the it's almost at the level of an interlude to break up the tempo, but to me, it doesn't have anything special going on. Almost monotonal.
Wow.
Boom.
That is way more harsh than even I was going to say about it, honestly. All I was going to say was that, it's an alright song, but it's a very bad DGD song for the reasons that you just said. But, I guess you kind of said everything that needs to be said about it.
It's just not... It's just, to me, it's like DGD went on vacation and, they just had someone kind of fill in, for a song. It's just, it doesn't feel like Dance Gavin Dance to me.
Oh, yeah. To me, it feels like them, it feels like if they take something that is supposed, say they take a movie that's, R-rated, and then they reboot it as, a rated G movie, it's just not the same. There's a lot of things missing that made it special. It just doesn't translate well, and that's just kind of how I feel about Exposed. It's not that it's a bad song, but as far as DGD songs go,
weak as fuck.
It's pretty bad. It doesn't really offer much as a DGD song. It's missing John Mess. It's missing intricate instrumental. I mean, pretty much everything that we love about DGD is not in this song. Which is why I not only think that it is the weakest song on this album, I would go as far as to say it's the weakest song they ever wrote.
Wow. Damn.
And I know that's harsh words, and comment below if you think I'm wrong, and, try to explain to me why you think that I am.
There are some songs, their very first EP is kind of meh.
Well, yeah, I guess I did kind of forget about the first EP.
I mean, even some of the older stuff's kind of meh. But then,
I guess.
But
I don't know. I just think that
this song's definitely bottom 5.
Even the older stuff, even some of the older stuff that I don't necessarily like and doesn't necessarily hold up, I don't know. I just think, at least with those songs, they were trying. Which sounds harsh. I just feel like Exposed is way too safe, and it just goes against everything that the band kind of encapsulates.
See, I don't because like I agree with you for the most part, but I don't think that, like, I don't know, because like Exposed, it's a song that I do think suffers greatly from the fact that there's no John Mess. That does feel a little odd that there's just like not him at all. And my initial thought when I had like initially listened to it, I was expecting kind of like maybe Will Swan on it, because it kind of felt like something that maybe Will Swan would have like jumped into, like doing like a rap feature on or something. Or else whatever you would call what Will Swan does in in the features that he does. But it's all delicious. I just don't know what to call it.
It's like obligatory.
Yeah, it is. It is just speaking that good word. But
Will Swan preaching to us.
It's like Will Swan doing like a Stan Lee cameo.
Yeah, it honestly does kind of feel like that every time.
Oh, there it is! There it is! That's Will.
Every single album includes it at one point.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
You're right. Well, but I don't know, dude. I think Exposed is a very, very nice song. I do think that it really is detached from what DGD usually does. But something that, like, as we've seen as a trend, especially from this point onward, is there's often a secret band kind of esque song on every single album that is very much more like in John Mess's wheelhouse. And I think on this one they just really tried to give Tillian something along the more lines of like his own solo stuff that he does, because it does feel a lot more like solo Tillian than it does DGD stuff, which I'm not opposed to having like one of on this album, and I don't think it like is just like the worst thing ever. I do think it's probably one of the weakest songs of like the Tillian era of DGD music, but that's just because it's the Tillian era of DGD music, not the Tillian era of Tillian, you know? So I think like in the grand scheme of DGD music, it just doesn't meet that same level, because DGD is just like this intense being of just wild, wacky instrumentals, music, screaming, beautiful vocals, that this just doesn't have all those just complex layers. So I think that that's why it's going to have to land in that bottom spot for me personally, because I like it more than you guys do for sure. But I definitely still think, I do agree that it is definitely one of the weaker songs in the existence of DGD.
For sure.
Well said.
I mean, and I guess since we're all very much on the same page about this, we won't waste any more time talking about why we don't like Exposed, and we're just going to solidly lock that into the 13th spot and mosey on along to the number 12 spot, which I think, well, I know what I think. I want to hear what you guys think. I want to find out if we're on the same wavelength for this spot as well.
I think we are. I feel like I know what Brennan is thinking, just from like talking to him in the past about it. Brennan, do you want to enlighten us with the inner machinations of your mind?
They are an enigma. But see this, and it's ironic. These songs are one after another, but to me, it's almost a toss-up between Petting Zoo Justice and Chocolate Jackalope.
I think Petting Zoo Justice needs to go in the 12th spot.
I agree.
Okay.
And
again, like,
okay,
Petting Zoo Justice is fine. Like,
Petting Zoo Justice is like the secret band song of the
song. It is absolutely the secret band song, no doubt. And I like it. Like, the first time I heard it, I was cracking up. Like, the lyrics are batshit insane. Like, I get a kick out of it every time I hear it.
Oh, man. I have a pretty nice monologue on that one, too.
Yeah. But, like, I don't know. Just, I feel like even though it's got some fun lyrics in general, I just don't really think it sounds good compared to the rest of the songs on the album. Like,
I can agree.
It just doesn't really do. And kind of in the same way that like Exposed is like a little too safe because it doesn't really have any John Mess. Like, I feel like this one is like almost too much John Mess, but then it doesn't really have anything else to like back it up. And the instrumentals are fine, but I don't know, just compared to all the rest of the songs on the album, I just don't think it really brings a lot else to the table.
Yeah, I think like instrumentally it's pretty damn heavy, and like it's very very groovy, like instrumentally, and I dig it. I do think though that where like Exposed really doesn't change a lot, like because like obviously DG is really well known for having very like stark contrasts in in tone and like almost an entire genre in the middle of a song. I do think this song, when it like does try to like change it, it's really abrupt and it feels like a lot different than other songs. Because this album, I think, has some of like the best like just wild transitions to something else of all of the DGD albums. I would put out there, because this is the album that like I was mostly introduced into the realm of DGD with, because it had just come out when I joined into the cult. I mean the fandom. And
no, it's a cult.
It's a cult.
Yeah, it's definitely.
shizzle.
But because like that was the thing that really grabbed me about this band, is just like the crazy change in songs. I remember like you and I driving the car. I'm just like, is this the same song? You're like, yep. And I'm like, it doesn't feel like it. Tyler, help. And I'm like, what's happening? And but yeah, no, and I think this album has some of the tastiest of like all of the Tillian era, at least. So I think that, I don't know, I think that Petting Zoo Justice is a fine song. I do honestly put it pretty damn close to Exposed personally, because I think it is like the opposite of Exposed in a way. It is like Exposed has like pure Tillian and not a lot changing. This has some like pretty intense changes instrumentally and a lot of John Mess. And I'm like, man, these two feel like together they could have been a really great thing almost. Like they almost feel like two parts of one like piece. That
I wouldn't necessarily say that, but I think I know where you're coming from.
Yeah, like, you're on the right track.
I feel like that they could have like they almost feel like two ideas for a song that could have come together as like one like back and forth feeling for them, and separately they're just kind of like a little bit more lackluster than anything else that they've given.
I think they kind of just serve as examples of like DGD typically strikes this really like immaculate balance in all of the chaos that they create with their songs, like between the clean vocals and the unclean vocals and the crazy instrumentals and the transitions into like different, different flows and different songs within songs, if you will, all the layered stuff, the funness, and I feel like Petting Zoo Justice and Exposed just don't really explore that as much as they could, in one way or the other. I mean Petting Zoo Justice definitely sticks to the DGD formula a lot more than Exposed, because it does have some switch ups in there, especially like toward the end. Like there are some Tillian breaks in there and everything. I don't know. I just don't think either one of those songs really hits the correct balance that they typically find in their songs.
Agreed.
What I have to say about Petting Zoo Justice.
Oh, here we go. I like this for this episode. This feels good. I like these monologues.
All right, I might as well use these to just round off like our list selections.
I dig it.
But Petting Zoo Justice. What can best be described as animal torture. The opening is controlled chaos as John Mess lists off just about every animal versus animal matchup we can think of, with enough flow to make Biggie Smalls blush. Some more John Mess-led musical tantrums lead to Tillian throwing a life preserver at anyone that doesn't like screaming vocals. The respite is short-lived, however, and John Mess dropkicks you back into the pit of screaming and flow. A sudden slowdown commences as Tillian demands for people to stop acting like he's a child. A wild ending ensues, one in which I believe to be the best possible ending to the bloodshed that is Petting Zoo Justice. That's I think it's a solid choice, number 12. It's because Exposed and Petting Zoo Justice, to me, like Tyler said it best, they strike like this beautiful balance between like Tillian and John Mess, like them just bouncing off of one another. But like Exposed and Petting Zoo Justice is literally them on like the opposite ends of the spectrum, like wildly. And I don't know. I agree with it being number 12.
Cool.
For sure.
This is the easiest we've ever had it picking. Well,
it's gonna get really fucking hard really soon.
Here comes the difficulty.
It's gonna get harder the more we go up the list on this one. So for the number 11 spot, I know you, Brennan, were saying that Chocolate Jackalope should be in there, and I don't necessarily disagree with that.
I 100% disagree with it.
But
100%,
I do
120%.
I don't disagree with it that much. I do slightly disagree with it.
Well, fair enough. We're all here to debate.
Kyle, what are your thoughts? I mean, You don't think that Chocolate Jackalope should be in the top half of the list, do you?
100% I do.
Okay, well we're gonna have a really really bad time.
I love it. I love it. Yeah. Love it.
I didn't realize you guys didn't like Chocolate Jackalope. That hurts my heart.
Chocolate Jackalope is good. I'm gonna make the disclaimer that I have to make on every single one of these episodes. Every single song from this point on is amazing.
Yeah.
It is an incredible album, and it's going to be painstaking to have to choose which of these are actually better than others. Chocolate Jackalope really does not bring a whole lot to the table compared to other songs on the album. It has the Will Swan part, which is cool. You know, it's got, you know, I mean it's a fun song. I like the song.
Well, Kyle.
But I don't know.
Kyle, what's next?
What's next? Well, I don't know. Let me just kind of like pick up from where Tyler left off. It's got like the really great Will Swan vocals. Chocolate Jackalope does. It's got fantastic John Mess lyrics. It's got really great switch ups.
The best John Mess lyrics of all time.
It's got a fantastic opening with an incredible guitar just absolutely slamming. I don't see what you're saying that doesn't bring it to the table. I think it has some it so well shows so many different aspects of DGD. Like it just like catches you so off guard. It's near the end of the album, kind of close to a bunch of songs that are a little bit more lackluster. I don't see where you think this song could even be considered to be this low on this.
If this song was on another album, then maybe. But if you compare it to like the first like 6 or 7 songs on the album, like
it doesn't fucking touch them.
It doesn't touch them.
Well, because like I think that like from this point on, and then like there's a couple songs like right near the top that I feel pretty damn strongly about. But I really felt that Chocolate Jackalope was going to be close to it, personally. But almost every single song, other than like maybe like 2 of them that I'm pretty certain are near the top, are all about to be like so close in my mind. There's a couple in particular that I really don't know where they're gonna go, but I thought that Chocolate Jackalope would be closer to the top.
No.
I think objectively Chocolate Jackalope has to be in the bottom half of the list, just comparing it to the other songs that are on the album. Like, it's a good song, but I think that it has to take one of the bottom spots because I can't justify putting it above most of the songs on this list. The only other song, like I personally think that Betrayed by the Game should be below Chocolate Jackalope. Like I think Betrayed by the Game should be the next one up on the chopping block.
I didn't expect that.
That's so out of it's. I have a feeling like I understand where you're coming from, though.
Here's the thing. I love that song. It's a banger. I listen to it all the time. It's a really great song. It's got interesting lyrics. The tone is just great. But even though I like it a lot, when you compare it to every other song on the album, what does it really bring to the table? And the answer is not much. It's a very safe song in the grand scheme of things. It's a good song. It's a well-executed song, but it's safe. And it doesn't really, if you compare it to like Chucky or Young Robot or Flossie Dicky Bounce or Frozen One or like any of the Here Comes the Winner,
That's a fucking murderous road, dude.
You can't say that Betrayed by the Game is better than any of those songs.
Yeah.
Because even though it's a really good song, it does not really go into like, I don't know how I want to word this. It doesn't necessarily take you on a journey like a lot of these other songs do.
I feel like it doesn't take you on a journey, but it kind of tells you more of a story. Like,
I mean, that's true.
Now, here, I don't want to like beat you guys over the head with my monologues, but
no, do it because like I'm just kind of speechless.
All right, so
about these accusations.
All right, so Betrayed by the Game. This might be one of my favorite DGD songs. It doesn't nearly have the musicianship as other songs on this album, apart from Will Swan's 6 sweeps during the verses. However, this song doesn't try to be the flashiest of DGD's releases. Instead, it tries to tell a wild story of a recently mentally impaired man preventing his partner from committing suicide. Also, it has one of the best, simplest, catchy choruses that a man can ask for. Absolutely solid tune.
I agree with all of that.
Now, Tyler is correct. He has swayed me, and the reason why I'm saying that, in our last album reviews, especially Afterburner, I bashed the shit out of like Three Wishes and like Prisoner for being like extremely safe songs. Because like and in my opinion, like Prisoner's kind of an outlier. So I'm gonna compare Betrayed by the Game to like Three Wishes. Betrayed by the Game is like the dominant of DGD like safe tunes. Like, I hate to use the term generic because they're not a generic band, but like from what we expect, you know, from a band like, not even a band like DGD to come up with, but like it's just kind of basic. There's no crazy fucking guitar in the background that like, you know, that's just there. Like, there's no like intricacy of it. It's just, it's catchy. It gets your attention. Like, it's just, you know, like I said, absolutely solid tune.
Yeah.
And the more Tyler speaks about it, the more I agree.
Yeah. It's really good. It's just really safe. So as much as it pains me to have to put it this low, when we're comparing it to the other songs on the album, objectively, we kind of have to, in my opinion.
Okay. My list is out the window already.
No, it's just like, what is it, like number 2?
I actually like don't know how to go on.
Jesus Christ. Well, what were you gonna put in the next spot?
Here comes the winner.
What?
Ooh, yeah. Absolute, complete, 1,000% disagreement.
1,000,000% disagree. What are you talking about? What is happening? We were on the same page so well for the first two.
And then the train is derailed.
Now there's this fucking tear. We're on just completely separate wavelengths now.
We slowly just slip apart as we
That
go.
is shocking to me that you would even consider putting Here Comes the Winner that low.
Oh my God. We are
like I said, we're into the territory
wall,
where everything is a really big fucking, like, you described it well, Brennan, as a mosh pit whenever we were like trying to come up with this earlier.
So it really is. We're finding ourselves on opposite sides of the pit now.
These songs get so close from here on out that I don't know, man.
Yeah.
Okay, you know what? Because we seem like we are in like a place of there's a lot of songs that are pretty damn close to each other.
Yeah.
So let's instead, because it was pretty easy to put at the bottom ones. Do we have any that we like for sure think should be at the top? Like,
I mean, anything else at this point is pretty much fair game. I don't really know if this is going to be an effective strategy this time around.
I'm just trying to, like,
Chucky's really good. Young Robot's really good. Frozen One's really good. Floss Dick Bounce is really good.
I think Chocolate Jackalope should be next.
I think Chocolate Jackalope should be next too, honestly. I can't really justify putting anything else there.
Right, fine, whatever.
I mean, do you want to do we want to kind of talk about this song more, or do we think we've done it justice?
All right. Well, here, let me. Right.
Oh yeah, Brennan, hit us with your
Chocolate Jackalope. Easily the wildest track of the album. Tillian does his best to make the song as joyous as possible, and although I don't think it's a bad song at all, it's just not that good compared to others. Although John Mess's lyrics are insane and they make me laugh my ass off every time I hear this song, Will Swan's obligatory rapping feature also takes place on this song of the album, which I enjoyed. Tillian damn near takes this song out of this album's basement with one of the strongest performances this album has to offer in the last minute of the song.
Yup. I 100% agree with that. I had that in my notes too. Like, you basically hit like all the points right there. And, you know, it's a really fun song. It's got like a ton of dynamic like tone shifts. It's very well executed. Has like some of the best John Mess lyrics of all time. Like the fucking I tapped into the brain of my cat to let him know he's my whittle baby meow meow boo is like my favorite John Mess lyric of all time. I will never ever find a lyric that I love more than that.
I really do enjoy 14 Shapes, and you pick the giant square.
I mean, that's also a good one.
Yes.
It's just so much. Oh man.
Dude,
like the fucking like funk breakdown shit at the end that Tillian does is just so
it's amazing.
tasty. Oh my god, it's so good, dude.
here's my confusion, right? Is because I feel these things very strong that you're talking about right now, and I'm like, damn, dude. And like the first time I listened to this album, like way back when I first like you guys witnessed, like gave me the fucking CDs to take home and like totally legally put onto my computer, and I was able to fucking witness this lovely band. And this one jumped out to me, and it's always been one I've come back to because I think that all the things that we just talked about are fantastic on it, and I love it, and it just sticks with maybe it's because it was one of like the earlier songs I listened to from Dance Gavin Dance that it has a nostalgia spot, because this album has a nostalgia spot for me. So this is definitely like my like guilty pleasure album of this band. Because do I think it's their best album? No, but damn, do I think it's fantastic, mainly because it was one of the first ones I listened to in its entirety. So
I mean, it is a fantastic album for sure.
Oh, it absolutely is.
I don't think you need to have guilt about thinking that this album's good, because it's a good album.
Oh no, I just meant that like I can like fully like agree that like Afterburner and like Artificial Selection as like an entire album are just so cohesive and fantastic that like I agree that they are like 1, 2, and then Instant Gratification's phenomenal and stuff like that. So I get that, but like, damn, will this album always hold a special place in my heart? Kind of like outside of the ranking of just being like, damn, this was the shit for me at one point. Like when there was a point in time where we didn't have Afterburner, we didn't have Artificial Selection. I just had Instant Gratification in this, Tillian wise, and I was just like, fuck, I adore this album.
You also had Acceptance Speech.
Ooh.
Well, yeah,
you should have also had Acceptance Speech. I don't know if you were listening to it, but
I did.
Man. All right. Now I feel like from here on out, it is like a legit fist fight.
Yeah. Well, so are we locking those in? Are we gonna say that it's gonna be Exposed, Petting Zoo, Justice, Man? What the
Betrayed
fuck?
by the Game.
Betrayed by the Game. Chocolate. I almost said Man of the Year because I have these in order of like. You gotta understand how I'm doing this on my phone is like I have them in order of like how they are on the album, and then I shift them down like on the list when we like move them, and I forgot Man of the Year was still like toward the bottom because it's the last song on the album, and I almost said that was third worst. Boy, fuck, is that not true? Yeah, so it's Exposed, Petting Zoo, Justice, Betrayed by the Game, Chocolate, Jackalope. Those are the bottom 4. We're gonna lock those in.
Okay.
I'm as joyous as ever.
Okay. As joyous as you can be when you're ranking 2 songs you love with gutter trash, but it's
it is a punch to the gut. I'm not gonna lie.
All right, yeah. The rest of this is just gonna be an absolute fucking panic attack.
Just
for me.
a nightmare.
I don't even know.
The ring. Hit me.
I don't even know. My gut is telling me that the next spot on the list should be. Here's the thing, right? Like, I like Philosopher King more than most people.
Ooh.
It's one of my favorite tracks. Do I think it's better than the rest of the tracks? No. I have a feeling I'm gonna have to swallow my pride and put that in the next spot, because I don't think that y'all are gonna let me put that above Deception.
Oh,
and
fuck no.
I think those
Yes.
I think those are the next 2, in my personal opinion.
All right, I'm about to say something that is pretty controversial. I agree that Philosopher King is in the running for the next spot. I also feel that there are 2 other songs, and we're here to hash this out. Let's be gentlemen about it. So I think Frozen 1 and Flossie Dicky Bounce.
I don't disagree with either of those. I'm
All right.
fine. I'm fine with putting Philosopher
think
King
it's
there.
like-
I can't put the other 2 there. Explain your reasoning, I guess.
Well, all right, so I'll read my monologue for Flossie Dicky Bounce. This song wouldn't nearly be as good if not seen live. John tears into everything we've ever found sacred with the screaming of everyone's favorite narcotic and the reactions of old people hearing this music. So, Cocaine Cringe Fest, of course. Tillian then revives the jam with his usual bad self and eventually sings a wonderful change up to the tune that can only be described as exquisite.
That's all you got?
That's all I got for Flossy Dicky Bounce.
I had way more.
That is my shortest one by a mile of all.
See, I don't know. I like Flossy Dicky Bounce. Outside of seeing it live, I mean, I like the track. I just think it has a lot to offer. Like I just really like the duality between like the first and second halves of the song, I guess. Like
I can feel that.
It starts off like it's a really like fun song. It's super aggressive and punchy and in your face. And, you know, it's constantly, like, jumping back and forth between, you know, John Mess's, like, gang chanty shit and, you know, Tillian's grooviness. And then all of a sudden they just hit you with the wow and, like, slows it down. And it basically just evolves into this completely different song. And I just think that is, like, so cool and, like, so noteworthy that I don't think it deserves to be...
I just don't feel like it's as good as like literally every other song.
I think that it's better than I will say it's better than Philosopher King and Deception, not necessarily anything else. That's my personal opinion. I feel that it's better than both of the songs objectively.
I mean, Philosopher King's an argument, but anyways, Kyle, what are you gonna say?
Flossy Dicky Bounce is in my top 5 on this album personally. I really like that song.
Nice.
It's a good one. Chocolate Jackalope was like right next to it. But, that's fine. That's whatever.
You know, like, hold a grudge the entire rest of this podcast.
I'm just kind of I'm shook. Like legitimately, I don't even know like how to feel anymore. I've lost all will to go on. Jesus Christ. I literally since we decided that like Betrayed by the Game of Chocolate Jackalope, we're gonna be fucking 11 and 10. I just leaned back in my chair and put my head in my hands. I'm like, what the fuck is this list? Because like I'm disappointed that Jackalope's that low. But goddamn, did you just kill the internet by saying that Betrayed by the Game was that low?
Just because it's a single doesn't mean that it offers more than the rest of the songs on the album. I'm thinking of this from an objective standpoint.
It's a really good song.
They're all really good songs, Kyle. We have to order these. It's our job.
Fuck, man.
Oh, this is incredible.
Saying that it's worse than a bunch of other good songs does not mean it's a bad song.
All right.
I was so like invigorated to have a good power ranking.
And it still is.
It still is.
My heart is broken. I am in shambles. I don't know.
I'm sorry that you don't see how correct we've been so far.
All right, so let's set the record straight. Which is better, Philosopher King or Deception?
See, I personally like Philosopher King better, but I can see I think objectively Deception's probably better.
So I know that I've always been I've argued you on the last episode about the objective bullshit, but I do think that Deception is objectively a better song than Philosopher King.
Boom.
I mean, Brent, have you read your monologue for Deception yet?
No, I haven't read it for either of these two songs.
Okay, because I want you to hit me with both of them because these are two that are right next to each other.
Which do you want
like
first?
They're mixing around.
Hit me with
Philosopher
King.
Okay, well,
whatever you want. It's your monologue. It's your choice. Just do whatever you want.
What I feel is next at the 9 spot, Philosopher King. What I feel is the darkest tune on the track. Will Swan has a phenomenal way of portraying the darkness with intricate musicianship instead of typical open note down-tune breakdowns. The breakdowns the song does have contain wild guitar sweeps and work in the background while John Mess wills you through the tunnel. Tillian provides a chorus that shows a light at the end of the tunnel, followed by one of the best bridges I have ever heard. Like the part where the song kind of slows down, he's singing, amazing. Right up until John grabs your ankles and brings you right back into the abyss of breakdowns mixed with Shred White and Blue.
Yes, I 100% agree with that. Like,
I'm not. Hold on, I got one more sentence.
Oh shit! I'm sorry.
Tillian then reaches a hand down to bring you out of the collapsing tunnel and into a newfound sense of self. Philosopher King.
Wow, that was deep.
I love that.
But yeah,
God, I love these monologues.
I
hate this episode, but these
it's like you've taken my shitty bit from the board games podcast and like made it useful.
Yeah, dude, wait, hold up, Tyler. That was not a shitty bit. That shit was so fucking lit.
I'm just saying that, like, you've given it new purpose, because, like, this is actually, like, informative, and mine was just, like, talking about how Monopoly, like, kills friendships and shit.
Yeah, but like the thoughtfulness.
Shameless plug. Go watch our Tippity Top podcast on board games. It was a hell of a time.
Fun.
But anyways, Deception. What I feel is the number 8 on this list. What I feel is the most underrated song on this album. Truly an expedition of Tillian's vocal range and dominance. Tillian opens it up with a quizzical wondering of where my cereal went. Tyler, do you remember that?
Okay, to explain, when this song first came out, we were trying to, like, figure out what all the lyrics meant. And at the beginning, when he's like, better wake up before it's all gone, I just envisioned, like, me and Brennan lived together at the time. I just envisioned a scenario where I was asleep and Brennan was pouring out the last of the cereal, and if I didn't wake up in time, I wouldn't get any. So that has just become what the song is about for us.
So that's become some tippity top lore right there.
Yeah.
So, Will Swan absolutely dominates this song with what I feel is the best instrumental work the album has to offer. While Tillian and John share the stage, the guitar work in the background is absolutely mind-melting. Tillian controls the feel and tone of the tune with a high-pitched elegance, mixed with John Mess's increased appetite for destruction. Deception.
See, I like Deception. And, okay, so going into this, I was thinking that Deception was better than fucking Philosopher King objectively, even though I like Philosopher King more. But the more I think about it, I think that, like, I think I'm gonna argue to put Philosopher King over Deception.
Ooh.
And I might lose this battle, but I'm willing to die on this hill.
Did my monologue sway you?
A little bit. I just feel like remembering how I think that, like, the bridge in Philosopher King alone should be enough to kind of lift Philosopher King above Deception, even if just by a smidge. Because that bridge it awakens something in me.
Like literally from when the song, like, slows down to, like, because to me there's two bridges kind of in one. Like, there's where, like, the song, like, slows down, it's just like boom, 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 boom. Like, it's just like that, like, kind of like really slow methodical beat.
Yeah.
And then it picks up, but, like, Tillian's still, like, in a bridge. Like, there's still like there's still like there's two parts of this bridge, and, like, that whole, like, 45 seconds or whatever is just, to me, just absolute genius.
It is, yeah. And I just as a drummer, I just think that, like, it's like a really punchy song. And they're, like, I think the drums are, like, very prominent in most of Philosopher King too. So maybe that's why I like it a lot more than most people also. But I don't know. I think in talking about this, I personally want to put Philosopher King above Deception. I think Deception should take the next spot. Kyle, I would like you to weigh in on this. I know that apparently you don't have any fight left in you because we killed 2 of your babies, but
all right, so I do think objectively, I think Deception, because, like, these songs are very close personally.
Mm-hmm.
Ironically, because, like, I put them in an order, but I don't feel strongly about, like, what, 12, like, no, not 12, 11 through, like, 5. Like, I legitimately, like, they could go either way. And,
yeah.
like, that's why I was excited about this one, because I felt like you guys could sway me a little bit more on this one. But I do, like, the more that, like, we're talking about it, the more I'm thinking about the songs and looking at the lyrics right now, I do think that Deception is just objectively a better song. I think that like, we often say, it really does take you on a journey. I think that there's, like, these really great, like, back and forth between Tillian and John Mess at the beginning, and then that bridge where, like, Tillian just comes down, he sings the "I don't need you" shit, like, is just so beautiful and, like, stripped down, and then it builds up slowly, coming back to John Mess just hitting it hard, and then Tillian's still soaring above him. Like, there's just, like, a level of, like, just expertise and just really well thought out song. Just like it really just takes you to the ending. It like when I listen to that song, like the note I have for it is like it is very much a roller coaster. You're like going up and down with Tillian and John Mess, and then you like get this really low point and you're building up with Tillian singing and like it building instrumentally, coming back to John Mess just hitting it and Tillian still singing over him. Is like that top of the fucking roller coaster coming down, like that moment you're all waiting for. It is just a beautiful package, and I do think Deception is a better song than Philosopher King.
I'm gonna agree with Kyle.
Yeah, I think you swayed me back to my original my original thought.
Because like Philosopher King, like I said, it's dark. It's different. There's like a duality to it. Because like, I mean, it's the closest thing in my opinion. I mean, maybe Flossie Dicky Bounce, but like not so much. But like, it's the closest thing that this track has to a secret band song, other than obviously like Petting Zoo Justice. But like, it's like the second closest.
I can get that.
Yeah,
but
I guess so. Yeah, I wouldn't
so
really say that it's in the same vein as that personally, but I can see where you're coming from.
It's a second. Yeah, it's just the second closest. Like just like how like, because like I said, it's like there's like a darkness to it. There's like It just like with how like the note choices that they make, especially with Will Song's like guitar work, it's just so fucking like not sad, but it's just dark. Like this song comes from like a very dark place. Mm-hmm. But Deception's just a fucking holy shit. Like
in my notes for Philosopher King, I have like the thing that like it because like similar like how with like a roller coaster ride for Deception, this one is like a very like a marching feel because like you said like the drums are very like present. There's like that punchiness of it like like the whole chorus is just like bam 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 and it just keeps sending you and like that's also really great. But I do think that feeling all the way through is super powerful and is really empowering. And I do love Philosopher King. Like I said, this is like absolutely just, we're down to the nitty gritty at this point.
Right.
I do think that punchiness and that powerful marching through this song feels great. But I do think that overall just like journey that you go on, like the roller coaster I said, is just like objectively, I think as a song, I think that edges it out over Philosopher King.
Yeah, I can get behind that.
Boom.
I can agree with that completely.
What's next?
Well, let's recap real quick. Just because I feel like we're going very far in depth on these last few, so just to make sure we're all on the same page with you listeners at home. Number 13 was Exposed, 12 was Petting Zoo Justice, 11 Betrayed by the Game, 10 Chocolate Jackalope, 9 Philosopher King, 8 Deception. So we still got a few left. And boy, do I legitimately not have any clue where we're gonna go from here.
Flossie Dicky Bounce.
Flossie Dicky Bounce. Okay.
Number 7.
Kyle, what are your thoughts?
What's it better than? Let's hash this shit out.
Right. Yeah. So the things that it's like really close with, and I have like tied together on my list are there's Flossie Dicky Bounce. Betrayed by the Game, I have pretty close to it. Frozen 1 and Inspire the Liars are all pretty damn close to each other.
This is tough because like
it really is. Because
I think I would listen. Like I listen to Flossie Dicky Bounce more often than some of these other ones that we still have in contention for higher spots. But I don't necessarily think it's a better song than a lot of them. Like, I would choose to listen to Flossie Dicky Bounce over fucking Man of the Year 9 times out of 10, but do I think that it's a better song? Absolutely not. I don't know. I mean, I guess
of the ones
Brennan,
I just
you
listed
might be
off,
right. I don't know.
I do. I listen to Flossie Dicky Bounce the most of the 4 I just listed off, which I know like Inspire the Liars is like one of the most listened to songs.
See, for me, that's like the total opposite.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, I just like Flossie Dicky Bounce, like, and like I said, like. For me, if I didn't see the song live, I wouldn't necessarily like fuck with it that much.
See, but I fuck with it real hard.
That's just weird to me because I feel like that's underselling it so much.
Yeah.
I mean, it probably is, but like, I'm just, I don't feel like it's a better song than literally any other song we have.
I don't necessarily disagree with that. I just think that we still owe it to this song to give it like the merit that it deserves, you know?
Yeah,
like,
and I think seven is totally sufficient.
That it is a weak song in any regard. Like, I absolutely love this song, and I kind of already touched on that like earlier in the episode.
And I'm not saying I don't love it. I'm just saying like I think 7's pretty well deserved.
I don't know. I don't agree, man.
Well, Kyle, what do you think?
I don't know, dude. It's so
because that's where I'm at too. It's like I don't want to put it there, but I literally can't make an argument to like put it above another song.
Fucking defeat me.
Like, my thing with Flossy Dicky Bounce, right, is that like there's so many moments that like where they really like do a good job like switching up the rhythm and shit with like the clap 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 shit, and like the transitions between chorus and verse, like some of the guitar shit just really feels like almost out of time. Like it feels like they're doing like these multimeter things, and I'm not sure if they are because like you can write it in multiple different ways, but like it's really, really clever. Like this song is it's so fun and it's just so back and forth all the time.
Oh yeah.
And like I just feel like it deserves more than this spot. And like even if I'm just looking at what songs I listen to the most, it definitely deserves a higher spot than this because it's one of my most listened to on this album. Like when I'm just picking and choosing from this one.
I mean, same here. I just like, and I agree with everything you just said. I mean, I think it's just an incredibly well composed song. I'm trying to think of a song to put under it. Like see, I want to put like Inspire the Liars under it, but I can't bring myself to make that argument.
The only song that I would even think of doing so would probably be Frozen 1.
Yeah, because I mean Frozen 1 and Flossy Dicky Bounce are around the same length. They're both like the shortest songs on the album.
Yeah.
There's only like a 4-second difference between them. I feel like Flossy Dicky Bounce feels longer and flows better because I think Flossy Dicky Bounce is the perfect length for what they're going for.
I would agree.
But I think that Frozen 1 is too short. So that might be a reason
honestly
to put Flossy Dicky Bounce above Frozen 1. But Frozen 1 is so slappy and good.
Yeah, but I don't know. I just think Frozen 1's better. Like
Frozen 1 is one of the most catchy songs on that album for sure. Mm-hmm. Like it's got insane fucking instrumentals. Like again, I'm gonna like touch on the drums and shit again. Like I love the drum part for Frozen 1. It's just fucking killer.
Oh yeah, like when the song opens up and it's just like John screaming. Like
I mean, it's basically a perfect song aside from the length. But I think the same thing about Flossy Dicky Bounce. I think it's a perfect song aside from the length. So I guess this is the battle that we're going to have. I guess the next two spots are going to be Flossy Dicky Bounce and Frozen 1.
You know, all right, let me tell you a story, right?
All
so this album is one of like the albums, this one Instant Gratification in particular have like suffer from this thing of where like I'll often go in and just pick and choose them instead of just like kind of hitting shuffle or like listening to them in their entirety like I do with Artificial Selection and Afterburner now. Because there are just some that really jump out to me on both of these albums that every time I open it up and I see the song list, I'm just like, fuck yes. Like I automatically jump to Young Robot. I automatically pick Chucky. I automatically pick Flossie. And Frozen 1 really has never been that one for me though, even though I've always liked it. And the more I've listened to it over this last week in prep for this, the more I'm like, fuck, this should be a song that I listen to more. Like this should be one of the ones that jump out to me because Frozen 1 is really good. Like, and you're right, it has some really slappy shit. Some of the fucking like that first transition and feeling of the two songs where like it all cuts out and the drums just kind of like fucking riff real hard into the next part where it gets into like it means I'm the chosen one, like the actual like title of the song and everything. It's so nice and it's very DGD. So I don't know, man. You're kind of swaying me towards Frozen 1 being better than Flossie, even though that hurts my heart a lot.
It is.
I guess.
Well, let me.
What do we think has more merit? Do we think that being like a catchier song has more merit, or being a more dynamic song has more merit? Because I think that's really the argument to be made between these two songs.
Well, let me talk about Frozen 1.
Okay.
Frozen 1, a song that I feel is criminally short. John's flow kicks off this tasty jam with interjection and then outright taking over from Tillian, followed by a John Mess bridge for the ages into what I feel is the strongest part of the song. John Mess addresses an imaginative drinking problem that's tearing his amateur basketball career apart. Tillian then hits us with one of the greatest elements of this album in a beautiful chorus, followed up by the song picking up momentum where Tillian, John Mess, and the rest of the band beautifully tangle, adding tempo and punchiness to the tune. The song then soft restarts into John, bringing us the appreciated arrival of the next tune. Frozen One. I feel like it's a better song than Flossie Dickie Bounce. I just do.
So I want to kind of go back to what Tyler said, where like what is more important, like the catchiness or like the dynamic differences of Flossie. And I'd like to state that I think they both have both of these things. I just think that Frozen One has it the catchiness a little bit stronger, and I think that Flossie Dickie Bounce has like that really like.
They have really good change-ups.
Yeah, the change-ups in Flossie are just so fucking fuck, dude. I don't know. This sucks.
I'm leaning toward putting Flossie over Frozen One, simply because while I think that Frozen One is catchier, I think that because Flossie Dickie Bounce like tries to do a lot more, like Kyle was saying, like with the time signature stuff. You know, the fucking massive tone shift between the first half of the song and the ending. Like, I feel like it's just... The song is just so dynamic and so different. And I think that, by comparison, Frozen 1 is, quote-unquote, for lack of a better term, safer. And for that reason, I think Flossie should overtake it. Also, I think that Frozen 1 is like you said, criminally short. I think Flossie Dickie Bounce works with the short time length.
Yeah, it works with it better.
So that's going to be my argument.
So Tyler's obviously for Flossie over Frozen. I'm obviously with Frozen over Flossie. Kyle, you need to decide this.
Yeah, Kyle, you're the tiebreaker, man.
This is a tough one, man.
I mean, flip a coin if you have to. Jesus.
No, I think I know where I'm being pulled a little bit on this one. I think there's very little separating these two in my mind right now. I think I'm gonna go with Flossie though.
Over Frozen 1?
Over Frozen 1.
Cool. I respect it.
I don't know, man. It's just always been a standout to me because, like, the way that, like I said, they like interchanging, like the time signature shit is just so, just like on like a more like I guess serious note. Like when you listen to the radio right now and listen to any kind of music that is like more mainstream-esque, because like DGD is more mainstream than like fucking like I don't know jazz and shit, but you don't get like complex stuff like that. You
right.
Always get fucking like 4/4 That's it. Like you got like these very, in like to their credit, it's very catchy and I like some of it. Like I do listen to the radio music sometimes. I mean, if you listen to our top 10 shit, you know that I like Billie Eilish a lot, and she is definitely more in that vein than DGD is. But just the fact that like this song has always been like one of those ones that I'm just like, damn, they're willing to go that extra mile. They're not just gonna like phone it in, do a song that's just like, oh, you know, we can have some fun with instrumentals and stuff, but it's always gonna be the same fucking time signature. Like stuff like this shows that they're like willing to go the extra mile to make this work to be like this one synchronous being and still make it tasty as fuck. Like they're willing to do that. And this song has always been one of those like the show of like this whole band for me. So I think I'm gonna have to go with Flossie Dickie Bounce over it. It's just always meant a lot to me, like when I think about this band. So I think I'm gonna have to.
Hell yeah!
I left it up to you, and you did not disappoint.
All right, guys.
Like I said though, Frozen 1 is more I listen to it, the more I should have listened to it more. And maybe if I would have listened to it more, maybe this would have been a little different. But
oh yeah, I mean, I listen to Frozen 1 all the time. Like it is a great song. I don't want to understate that at all. Like it is an amazing song. I just think
that's what I'm saying.
I think Flossie deserves the spot over it. Yeah, it is. It really is. It's like we've said in previous episodes. You know, it's like trying to pick your favorite kid. Like it's apparently that's a pretty tough thing to do.
I guess.
I wouldn't know, but apparently. And guys, it's not going to get any easier because now we're into the top 5. And if we thought that the rest of this ranking was difficult, boy howdy, is this next part going to be just a horrible time. Because we got fucking Chucky, we have Young Robot, we have Inspire the Liars, Here Comes the Winner, and Man of the Year, all in contention for the next spots. I don't even know where to begin with this, guys.
Well, which of these songs do we view as the weakest? If that's even possible.
I'm saying, I honestly don't know. I know which one I personally don't listen to the most, but I don't necessarily think that my personal opinion is what's going to, like, slide into that spot.
I don't know. Well, like, what song do you not listen to as much, I guess? Because we gotta start somewhere with this.
I don't listen to Man of the Year very often, but I think that Man of the Year is, like, a masterpiece.
I agree. I think
just
it's
because it's so, like, epic and it's so, like, long, I'm typically not in the mood to listen to something like that, but in the context of the album and just, like, objectively as a song, like, it is amazing. It is incredible. So I don't think that the fact that I don't listen to it very often should be justification to put it below these other songs.
That is also, like, of the 5 left, it is probably my least listened to song as well. I listen to it less than, like, Flossie too, but, you know, I already preached about that.
Yeah.
But I honestly listen to it a lot less than a lot of these songs on the album, like, because, like you said, it is very, and it is really fucking, it is just epic. Like, I don't know how else to describe it. It's just an absolute legendary, album ender.
Yeah, it's in the same vein as, like...
Yes, I was about to say Artificial Selection, like Evaporate and Man of the Year are probably their 2 best album enders.
Yeah, I think it's in the same vein as fucking...
However,
the one you just said, I don't know.
I do compare it to another one in my monologue.
Okay, yeah, hit us with that. I'd like
Good
that.
Segue.
Oh.
I like it.
This is my longest monologue of them all.
Here we go. I'm going to get the popcorn. I'm ready. Let's go.
Hear this shit. Man of the Year. Philosopher King might have been the darkest track, but this song, however, is the saddest. Tillian starts off with what I could best describe as a man who's recently found out he's been cheated on, telling his unfaithful partner that she needs to get her shit and get. As beautiful as it is, John Mess takes the song to a whole new level with the tempo and pace change. Tillian gets dirty himself as John leads us into another painful demand of Tillian singing for this person to leave and to never return. Directly in the face, we are hit with Tillian punching his pain and sadness in the form of a chorus that both makes us feel great that the song exists and sad that he has to put up with lying-ass females. John. That's only the first half.
Wow. Amen, brother.
John. I will not say amen, however, I like the sentiment.
Oh, man. John then leads another tantrum into an only instrumental bridge into the realization of fate that is his song's final tone shift. Tillian asks the audience to please not sympathize with his meltdown, but we can't help but do so with the sadness and self-doubt we get from his note and lyric choices. John Mess and the rest of the band join him on his seemingly never-ending quest to get over his adulterous ex-lover. This song provides the absolute perfect finality that a masterpiece like this deserves, rivaling that of only Turn Off the Lights, I'm Watching Back to the Future Part 2, and of course, Evaporate, Man of the Year.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, like, it literally is, and we talked about this in the last episode, like, it's just a perfect album ender. And, like, I think the part that I really love about this song the most is how it builds. Because at the very beginning, it starts off, like, really slow, and it just really kind of keeps building. And then John Mess just, like, kicks your fucking door down and the SWAT team runs in and starts firing machine guns. That's really basically, that's how that feels, like, you know? It's and then, super... and then, you know, it leads back into Tillian singing the exact same part, but matching, like, the aggressive tone of fucking John Mess is just so beautifully executed. Like I can't get over how well crafted this song is. Like even though I don't listen to it very often, whenever I do listen to it, it blows me away like every time. Mm-hmm. And then like, you know, when it gets to the bridge, it kind of slows down, and like, you know, just when you might be kind of getting, you know, over the song, it just kind of like breathes new life into it, and then you just want more, and then it just gets back into the aggressive shit, and you're like ready to go. Like it's just
like you're saying, you want more, and then it just gives it right to you.
Right, exactly,
like, here it is,
exactly. And I don't know. I think the song is just this. It's kind of just a song made of raw emotion, almost, you know. And I think it's something special, and I think it deserves to be in this top 5 for sure. Mm-hmm. And the more we talk about it, I mean, it might deserve to be number 1. I definitely don't think it deserves to be number 5.
I don't agree that it should be number 1. However, I do think that maybe I don't think it deserves this next spot. But the thing I want to like present to this, because like I do share your sentiment a lot. I think this is a beautiful song. I do think that there's a lot of really great like just like painting a picture of this story with the way that it is like composed, where like there's like this somber bit, and then like it just absolutely slams you with like realization. Mm-hmm. And then just like coming to terms again, but still being angry. Like it's like this really beautiful thing.
Yeah.
But and like I love it, and I like we said, like we both don't listen to this song a ton. I think it's coming down to more of this song is fucking phenomenally made, but the songs that are the other songs it's against, because like we've been talking about the song for a while now. And obviously, we should move on to other stuff. But, like, going into talking about these other songs, does the, like, craftsmanship of this song match, like, the just pure energy these other ones do? When, like, I can listen to Young Robot, Chucky, fucking Inspire the Liars, and Here Comes the Winter. I can listen to these songs, like, over and over and over and feel so good about them. And they are masterfully made as well. And like, even if Man of the Year might be, like, composed slightly better, does the fact that we don't listen to it as much give it as much weight as these other ones do? And, like, maybe it does for some, maybe it doesn't for others. Like, I'm just, like, putting that out there as we go forward. Because that's the battle I'm, like, having, like, thinking
I mean,
about
that is a good point, and I don't really have an answer because I don't know myself.
Yeah, no, and that's the battle I'm having, and the back and forth I'm having. So I just want to put that out there. For you guys as well.
I feel like this song has such heaviness.
Yeah.
Not like oh, this is a heavy song, but like just the fact that like the sadness, like just the weight of it all. Mm-hmm. Like to me, like I heard this song 3 times today, and like each time I like almost shed a tear. I'm like, this song is such a masterpiece to end a masterpiece.
Right.
Now, like you guys have said, is it better than all 4 of these other songs? I don't think so. But there is one song, at least, that I feel like needs to be below it. Even though I absolutely love it.
I also have one that I think I might want to put below it, but it's going to be highly controversial. So Brennan,
possibly 2.
Okay.
Actually, no. I'm gonna hit you with both of them.
All right.
Okay. Do it.
I think Inspire the Liars and Here Comes the Winter are the 2 that are like teetering being under Man of the Year.
Okay. Let's unpack these. We're not gonna say what mine was because it's highly controversial.
Do it.
I was gonna say Young Robot, which pains me because it's like one of my favorite songs of all time. But I'm thinking like. Hear me out.
My monologues are epic on these.
Hear me out. It is literally like I am like excreting life force to even like say this right now. Like it is physically hurting me to say that Young Robot should be number 5 because I don't fully believe it because I listen to Young Robot all the time, and I think it's like an essential DGD song. I think it's amazing. Here's the thing I'm gonna throw at you. I think we can all agree that the best part of Young Robot is the disco sex jam.
Ooh,
if the disco sex jam was not in Young Robot, would that song compare to the other songs in contention?
I do think it would, but I think that's going to be a debate for later a little bit. Okay. Because if I'm being honest with you, the split in my mind right now is similar to what Brennan just threw out there. Like, the ones I'm personally closest to, like, putting next are Man of the Year, Here Comes the Winner, and Inspire the Liars.
Okay. Well, I'm going to throw out that I don't think it should be Here Comes the Winner because
I can agree with it.
I think that song doesn't deserve to be in the 5 spot.
All right. Inspire the Liars. Let me just get this out of the way. What most folks equate the album with. The music video is bonkers, and the music is very much the same. As on every track, Tillian hits notes that would shred most men's vocal cords into unrecognizable ground beef. Mm-hmm. John adds an insane... that might have been the best reaction.
What the fuck?
Absolutely, I agree, because I'm in the car doing it, shredding my vocal cords, like, all the time. So I
exactly. even I attempt it, but Tyler knows. John Mess adds an insane amount of flow with his over-the-top, head-scratching lyrics that add a sense of the band not taking themselves too seriously. A penis wide, the tower's high is coming at your feet comes to mind. After an exposition of musical genius, the band shares, for the first 3 minutes of the tune, we are thrown into a whirlwind of pace change that brings the song its critical acclaim. Tillian once again rocks the socks off of unsuspecting innocents, leading them into a cult-like call to form a new religion. 10 out of 10 would bang again.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
And this is one of those songs that, like, for whatever reason, like, anytime they play it live, I'm always disappointed, but I guess it's because, like, they have so many other songs I want to hear live, and they keep playing this one, and, like, I just don't care anymore. But, like, upon re-listening to it, like, the song is just so fucking well-crafted, like... It has, like, the depth and variety that you want out of every DGD song. Like, it's long, and it's long because it's going to take you on a fucking journey through, like, multiple mini-songs, like, sewn together into one really big song. And this has the second best disco sex jam on the album. Mm-hmm. And I think that alone, you know, gives it a lot of staying power. I don't know. I really like the variety you get from this song. Even though I wasn't always the biggest fan of it, I think I've grown to appreciate it a lot more as, like, years have gone by. I don't know, man.
Dude, I honestly, the more I think about it, the more I'm thinking and, like, hearing that about, you know, that song, I just feel like, man, maybe Man of the Year is the next one. And, like, solely because I like, obviously Inspire the Liars, like, and Chucky are, like, some of the most listened to on this album according to, you know, streaming sites and shit. So, like, I think that the fact that I am so ready to jump to those over Man of the Year, even though Man of the Year is, like, really well crafted, these other songs are also really well crafted and also just make me want to fucking explode every time I listen to them. So I do think maybe the next one is Man of the Year.
Well, if we're gonna toss it up between Man of the Year and Inspire the Liars, which one do you think is better, Brennan?
Ooh. Personally, I think Man of the Year is better, but if we're talking about which songs are like that's just my personal opinion. But if we're speaking objectively, Inspire the Liars is probably a better song because A, they play it a lot more live. B, it's not as, like, jarring and emotional experience listening to it as Man of the Year is.
Yeah.
Like when I listen to Man of the Year, like, all 3 times a day, like, I had to stop listening to music for a minute.
Right.
Because I was like, damn, that's so fucking just... There's so much weight to that. Like, it's the finality.
Yeah. And I guess, like, if you're... And this is probably another reason why I skip it a lot on Shuffle, is just because, like, it's a perfect album ender, but, like, you have to kind of... If you're not, like, in a full album listen through like scenario, it's kind of hard to just whip that on in the middle of a bunch of other songs.
Yeah.
So honestly, I guess I'm kind of agreeing with Kyle. I guess I do think Man of the Year should take that spot, even though
It's tough.
Yeah, it's tough, and but you're right. I think the fact that, you know, the other ones you can kind of jump straight to and listen to, you know, whenever you want more easily, then Man of the Year kind of speaks to the validity of those songs a little more. And even though Man of the Year is just perfect, you know, I think there is something to be said about the other songs being more accessible and more like throwdown bro tunes.
I am gonna take a step back on what I've said before, and Tyler's kind of swayed me to this. I think number 4 is Young Robot.
I absolutely don't agree. Absolutely, 100% don't agree.
Fight it out. I want to hear both of your viewpoints on this.
All right, here it comes. Ready? Young Robot's one of the best DGD songs of all time. All right?
I agree.
100%. Like, objectively, and just it feels great. All right? Because it's not only that this song feels great, and that Disco Sex Jam, Jesus fuck, it's incredible. It just feels so good. But, like, just step back and look at it with me. Like, just like from like a setup standpoint, right? You have this beginning, very slow, very just like stripped down, like we've applauded them multiple times doing before. And you've got the fucking flute! I should honestly not to say anything else. The fucking flute,
dude. My monologue for this song it's hilarious,
dude. I can't wait to hear it. But boy, just go on a journey with me. It's time.
I'm listening, man. Fucking take me, dude.
Oh shit! All right, so you got the fucking flute, and it's delicious. Just going back and forth. The fucking like the way that it is written in with what the guitar is doing is gorgeous. Like, just that beginning bit alone is just fantastic. It's so, like, out of left field for them, which is what DGD has always been about. It's always been about just, like, what you're just fucking... You think a right hook's gonna happen? Bam! I grew an extra leg and I hit you with an extra fucking leg. Like, that's just all DGD is. It's just, like, you never expect it, and it's fucking delicious. So, flute, fantastic, right?
Delicious.
Then Tillian just treats us with the most delicious fucking vocals. Like, the just effortlessness of him just... It's just fucking delicious. It's so great. I love it. It's fantastic. And then it goes into John Mess just bashing your skull in before it goes into the tastiest disco sex jam of all time. And not only is it tasty, not only is it phenomenal, it builds on itself that the second time the dun-dun-dun-dun-dun happens, the flute joins back fucking in and harmonizes with the guitars. If I have never wanted something so... I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. Those words didn't make sense. That last second there, I started speaking. My body was just like, my soul just came out of my fucking mouth. Fucking, it is just, I never expected the flute to just so perfectly go back and forth with it. And it works so well, on top of it being a disco sex jam, on top of Tillian being a fucking master. And then just ending with fucking just like John Mess hitting us again, the fucking heavy guitars, the drums just like and like just
that is what drums do.
It is how drums do, and they do be good. They do be good, Tyler. It's so good, dude.
I'm aware. Right. I agree with all of that because, as you know, as both of you know, like I am a complete fucking fuckboy for this song. I mean, like I would also like to point out, this is a little tangent. I don't know if this is going to make it in the final cut of this episode. I liked this song more than both of you back in the day when it first came out. I remember the day before Warped Tour, you two argued with me for an hour that Betrayed by the Game was a better song than Young Robot, and I almost had to fucking leave the house.
I
know, shocking, right? I was shocked too.
I don't believe this happened.
And at the time,
dude, I was wounded on an emotional level that you guys thought this. I would never make this up.
I was completely convicted that I was right. I remember that. I was under the extreme conviction that Betrayed by the Game was a better song.
Yeah, I don't know how it happened, but like
because as Tyler has pointed out now, and I agree with this, if you take out this Disco Sex Jam, what is it?
A really good song.
It's average at best.
It's an average song. That's where I'm when I have to think about the song objectively, when I have to remove my personal attachment to it, you know, when I have to remove the fact that I listened to the song 8 times in a row when it first dropped because I couldn't get enough of the disco sex jam, the rest of the song, like even upon my first listen to it, when I wanted to listen to it 8 times in a row and I did it for the disco sex jam. I didn't do it for the rest of the song. Yeah. The song really didn't do anything for me until it got to the disco sex jam. And that is still the part that I listened to it for now. And I believe this is an argument you made for another song in a previous video.
Yeah.
So I think if we use that as an argument to bump something in a lower spot, then it should also apply now, even though I know we have a lot of like personal prejudice toward this song. I think that objectively we can't say that just because it has the best disco sex jam in DGD history makes it a better song than the rest of the ones we have left on the list.
Well,
and that's my
unbiased
opinion.
Young Robot. The flute solo opener is enough to bring any tough guy to tears.
I wouldn't go that far, but okay.
I really enjoy it.
I really enjoyed it.
Did you weep the first time the song started? You just heard flute and you were just like, ah!
I just shed a fucking tear.
I fucking gasped, which is what I did. I was just
I was so like,
I went, huh?
I was so like mind blown. I was like, damn, they incorporated a fucking flute. All right.
I did like the fucking Wicket Ewok head turn.
Oh, yes, exactly. That is the best way to describe the beginning of the... Hearing that happen, you're just like, what?
So,
anyway, Brennan.
Tillian then adds to this expedition of emotion what really has been a long time coming. After some more helpings of Tillian's vocal supremacy, John lights up an already imaginative song with some Will Swan madness. Then, what can only be described as a disco sex jam, a no trademark of DGD, hits the air drums with Tillian and John, bringing forth an absolutely tasty jam that anyone can enjoy. The song then mellows out a bit to what would be a perfect ending to the song. Young Robot.
Well, I think that the argument that taking the disco sex jam out of this makes it an average song at best is an invalid argument. I think that there's a lot more the song offers that, I mean, like, if you don't personally feel that, like, that's fine, you're wrong.
Are you telling me that the portion of this song, if this song did not have a disco sex jam, you're telling me that it would be better than Chucky, Here Comes the Winner, and Inspire the Liars if it didn't have the disco sex jam? You're telling me that the base of that song is fundamentally better than all of those other songs? Because I don't buy that for a second.
Tyler, I don't think we're here to talk about a portion of a song versus full songs. I think we're here to talk about songs versus songs.
You made that argument to me, like, in fucking, like, 2 episodes ago, I'm pretty sure, so...
I don't know what it was about. If I did, okay, that's fine. However, I think that...
It was, no, I remember what it was. It was the last episode because it was Care. And you told me that if you take out the disco sex jam from Care, that it is not a good song. And you said that we can't rank that song above any of the other songs because if we factor out the disco sex jam, then it doesn't count. So this is the exact same argument. And I would argue that if you take out the disco sex jams from both of those songs, that Care would destroy Young Robot.
Ooh, right. I don't know about all that.
All right.
With the disco sex jams in, Young Robot is far superior. But if you take those out...
I also made the argument that, or the analogy rather, that the reason I go to a steakhouse is for steak. Thus, the reason I listen to Care is for the disco sex jam.
Right. And if that was true for Care, then that is absolutely true
for Young Robot.
For Young Robot. And if that was a reason... why you guys were shitting all over why me wanting to put Care in a higher spot, then god damn it, it's gonna be the reason that Young Robot is sticking in this number 4 spot too.
Agreed. None of the other like to Kyle's, like, to argue with Kyle, I guess. He was saying that we're not comparing parts of songs to like wholes of other songs. And he's correct, but the other 3 songs don't have this crazy part that just takes it to a higher level. Right. They're all just like the entirety of the songs are that immaculate.
Well, and I'm saying, like, Inspire the Liars has a disco sex jam, and if you take that out, Inspire the Liars is still a fucking phenomenal song.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, that alone puts it under Inspire the Liars. Do I listen to Inspire the Liars more than I listen to Young Robot? Fuck no. But if we're doing, like, an objective review, then, like, we have to take that into account, you know? So, as much as, like, I hate the fact that I want to put Young Robot at 4, I think Young Robot deserves to be at 4.
Yeah, we'll just fuck it, whatever. I don't care. What do you want to do? Where do you want to put Young Robot? It doesn't matter. I don't give a fuck anymore.
I think we've broken Kyle.
Jesus Christ.
All right. Do I think Young Robot is better than Inspire the Liars or Here Comes the Winner? I'm going to go with no.
I am, as much as it pains me to say it, I really do think that I think the disco sex jam is what makes Young Robot good. And if that was cause to put Care in the number 4 spot, then I think it's absolutely reason to put Young Robot in the number 4 spot this time.
Okay.
So that's what I'm going to vote. Even though I love that song, that's what my vote is.
Me up. He's like, okay. All right, Kyle, what's next?
What do we have left now?
Here Comes the Winner.
Inspire the Liars, Here Comes the Winner, and Chucky.
I can tell you which one I think is the best of the 3.
Go for
Hit
it.
us with it.
I think it's Chucky. I think Chucky, like, of the songs left, because my number 1's gone, I think that Chucky's probably the best.
So bitter.
Was Young Robot? Was Young Robot?
To be fair, I think it's probably a lot of people's number 1. I mean, up like, if we're doing like a personal ranking, then yeah, it's probably not my number 1 too. But
when we do a personal ranking of all DGD songs, it's gonna be up there for me too. But that's okay.
Nope.
I'll talk about it then. It'll be all right.
I tend to agree with Kyle that Chucky's probably number 1.
that's kind of where I was going to. I think Chucky is just like, much like, you know, We Own the Night is kind of like the essential DGD song from the previous album. I think that Chucky is like the essential song from this album. Like, if you were to expose someone to DGD for the first time, I think Chucky is one of the first songs that you show them, because it is like an absolute staple, and for good reason too. Like, it is a absolute banger of a song, and I know it's a generic pick to kind of have up at the number 1 spot, but like, it's that popular for a reason. It's just, there's nothing bad about it. Like, I can't even come up with a single nitpicky reason to put it below anything else on this list. I think it's kind of been chilling in my number 1 spot since the beginning of this podcast, honestly.
Yeah, and it's been chilling in my number 2, so I'm down with it for being here.
It's my number 1.
I was fully ready to like let Young Robot be number 2 to it, so I'm totally okay with this.
Okay.
What I'm gonna say: Chucky versus the Giant Tortoise. Probably their second best album opener ever. Beautiful cohesion between Tillian and John Mess bounce off one another in a hectic foray into what I know and love about post-hardcore. Tillian's bridge before the first chorus is damn near sex-inducing, followed up by the most beautiful way a man has ever questioned his manhood in the chorus. John comes right back afterward to a soft restart of the song, bouncing off Tillian to set up yet another delicious chorus. John's usually playful lyrics bring upon another tasty Tillian bridge full of notes hit that would make any vocal instructor blush. John tears up the pit once more, and then both share the stage for one of the best endings of a song that one can imagine. Chucky versus the Giant Tortoise.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I mean, this is essential DGD listening, like, at its peak. Like, when I think of DGD, this is one of the first songs that, like, jumps to the front of my head, so...
Absolutely.
I think it would be kind of a sin to, you know, rank it below any of the remaining songs because it is just such a banger. So I guess for the sake of saving time, because this has been a very long podcast, we're just gonna lock that into number 1. Yeah, so we're down to it's a toss up between the 2 and 3 spot between Here Comes the Winner and Inspire the Liars, and I have a preference, but I would like to hear your opinions on this.
I am for Inspire the Liars being number 2.
I am for Here Comes the Winner, so I guess Brennan.
Oh, damn.
Well,
honestly, okay, hang on a sec, because I feel like we've talked about Inspire the Liars a good bit. Tyler, do you want to tell us a little bit about why you think Here Comes the Winner is? Because we haven't talked about that song at all yet.
Oh,
well, hold up. This is my final monologue.
Oh, shit, hit me with it.
Here Comes the Winner, one of my favorites when the album released. Will Swan injects a hard rock opener while Tillian sets the stage for a song that mocks people for being fake and shady. John Mess also interjects into the song, bouncing off the title screen that Tillian lays out for him. Immediately after, Tillian takes you into the bread and butter of the tune, with John Mess spitting mad flow with even more insane lyrics. Tillian then hits the background while John leads us right into one of the best choruses of the album. Tillian hits probably the highest note of the album in the chorus of this tune. He does a fantastic job of talking shit to people, just trying to get better ratings, while also hitting the airwaves with some of the best vocal work yet imagined. Here Comes the Winner.
Yeah, I think that, I don't know, Here Comes the Winner has always been one of my favorites. I listen to it a lot, and I think that just, I think the lyrics are really well thought out and really good, and even the fucking John Mess fuck around lyrics that are super super fun in this one has some of my favorite lines of all time. I think they kind of have more relevance than some of his other lyrics and other songs, compared to the actual story that the song is trying to tell. And I don't know, it's always just kind of held a special place in my heart. And the like Brennan said, where Tillian hits those high notes in I guess it's the chorus, that shit gives me goosebumps to this day when I hear that part. Yes. And I think that in and of itself is kind of the reason that song resonates with me so much. I don't get that from listening to Inspire the Liars, but and again, this is a lot of just personal preference. So if I lose this fight, I don't really totally understand. But I don't know. Here Comes the Winner, I just think it's tough though, because either one of these songs could take the number 2 spot. They're both incredible, and they're both just really well executed. I don't know. Here Comes the Winner always just stuck with me a little more personally. But yeah, honestly, I mean, I'm not really gonna fight to the death on this. So yeah. What are your thoughts on the song though, Kyle?
For Here Comes the Winner?
Yeah.
It kind of lands in the same realm like I was talking about earlier, Frozen 1 and Deception also is in that same boat, where I don't come back to them as often, but they're all the more I've listened to them, especially this week, I'm just remembering how good they really are, and that's why this has been even because originally I was just thinking that there was gonna be maybe 4 songs that kind of fought for the 3 through fucking 7-ish spot, but then another 4 songs jumped in the mix, so I'm listening to more. I'm just fuck, I don't listen to these that often, but damn, are these songs good. And objectively, Here Comes the Winner is extremely good. I do really like it, and I do I agree that the chorus hits and it's just something else. However, I don't know, because objectively they are really close. I've always personally listened to Inspire the Liars more, and that song's always hit me a little bit differently personally, which is why I personally think it's better. Objectively, I honestly don't know which one would take it. Yeah. I just know that in a gut decision, I think I'd put Inspire the Liars over Here Comes the Winner.
I mean, I guess the more I think about it, I guess Inspire the Liars is objectively better. I think it does offer a lot more. The more I think about it, the more I look over my notes, the more I think about the shit that I already said about Inspire the Liars earlier. Yeah, no, even though I personally love Here Comes the Winner more, a lot more, I do think that Inspire the Liars is objectively a better song. So unless Brennan like absolutely disagrees,
I will actually agree.
Okay.
Here Comes the Winter was probably my favorite song when the album came out. Mm-hmm. And these two songs, I kind of had a feeling that they would be towards the top and that they would be like in a fist fight with one another. So I actually listened to these two more than like the rest of the album. Like I would listen to like one after the other and be like, oh, which one's better? Which one's better? You know, I just had a feeling. And Here Comes the Winter, I think it's an absolute masterpiece. But Inspire the Liars is like what? Like when people think of Mothership, they think of Chucky and they think of Inspire the Liars.
And Young Robot, but I mean, we kind of axed that.
And Young Robot, but that song is... Their song's better than it, let's be honest. But I would put Inspire the Liars 2, Here Comes the Winter 3.
Something else that I don't know. So I have a question actually. When you're talking about like the chorus coming in, what part in particular are you talking about?
I don't know like the actual lyric, but it's like the like that.
Yeah,
that part
yeah.
where
Whenever
he hits that like crazy note.
Because
and he's
like
he's like kind of screaming, like he's not even really singing the note. He's like getting really
because
like,
there's like a faux chorus.
Yeah,
towards the beginning of the song.
Yeah, that's why I wasn't sure how to like describe it because like it, the way the song is like structured, it kind of feels like there's multiple like different choruses.
Yeah, no, because like when I was agreeing with you, I was talking about the crazy note too. I didn't know because I'm thinking more. I'm just like there is the beginning where like the chorus is more like the here comes the winner and shit like that. But
that's more of a faux chorus because like at the middle of the song and then like they come back to it like the part where he hits the high note ends up becoming the chorus because it happens twice in the song while the faux chorus where he literally says the name of the song only happens once.
Yeah,
and then like there's that part that follows it too where you get like all the fucking like on the drums, and then you get Tillian doing the thing in the background, and then like John Mess is like screaming over it, and they just like blend it all together and layer it. It's just so fucking good,
especially when like at the ending of the song.
Yeah, exactly. It's like it just culminates in this like harmony of all of these different elements in like typical DGD fashion. It's just, oh man, so good. So good.
Something that I will say that I was kind of like leading into with this discussion is that the reason why Here Comes the Winter personally isn't in my top 5. Like objectively, I can see it being there, but like something that's always kind of like when I was like creating this list and like coming up with reasons and making notes is that Here Comes the Winter does feel a little like, I don't know, because like there is that like the faux chorus transitioning into like the crazy high bits. It doesn't feel as like an effortless like swap into like a different feel as some other songs do in other parts of this album. It still does it really well, and I still really like it, and like it's still a really good song. But the actual transition from like that faux chorus part into like the Tillian almost screaming bits, I do feel like is a little like if I were to rank it to the other transitions in this album, I don't think it's near the top. However, that bit that follows, holy fuck. Like, it's so tasty. So that does push it up a bit for me. And that's why I'm okay. I'm totally, like, feeling it being up near the top here.
Hell yeah, man. Yeah. I mean, I guess we're done. I guess we did it.
Yeah.
This was fucking difficult. Like I feel like I've aged like 10 years since this fucking recording session started.
Oh yeah.
Good God, that was
we really
rough.
Evolved as men.
Yeah, we grew as men. I feel like we both became closer and simultaneously tore each other down in equal fashion.
I mean, I lean more to the tore each other down.
Yeah. You kind of got fucked up, but maybe you'll find some support in the comments who will take your side over ours.
My phone's across the room.
He probably will.
Your phone's across the room.
To be honest, Kyle probably will, dude. There's people that straight up beat off to Young Robot.
Oh, I'm saying I beat off to Young Robot too. I'm saying of like if I was like ranking these just based on personal taste, Young Robot would be my number 1. When we have to do the objective rankings, I have to put my pride aside and say, you know what? these 3 other songs are fundamentally better, and I have to just kind of, I have just kind of do that, even though I hate it. Like,
it's crazy because that's exactly how I feel subjectively.
Yeah.
I don't know. I love it.
I would like to put on the record that I think both objectively and personally, Young Robot's the best song on this album. However, I understand that I am outvoted, and that is, it is where it is.
Yeah.
And that's okay, I guess.
Weak sauce.
Okay, so let's do a little recap here of the definitive order that we have decided on for the song ranking of Mothership. At the bottom spot, number 13, unquestionably, it is Exposed.
Deserved.
Number 12 spot goes to Petting Zoo Justice, also a very, very easy decision for us all to make. At the number 11 spot, much to the chagrin of Kyle, is Betrayed by the Game, followed immediately by Chocolate Jackalope, which was just another knife in the gut.
And then literally everything after this was fine until we got to the top 5. And then I cried.
I love it.
At number 9, we had Philosopher King, one of my personal favorites. At number 8, we've got Deception. Number 7, Frozen One. Number 6, Flossie Dicky Bounce. Number 5, The Immaculate Man of the Year. Number 4, everybody's favorite Young Robot. Number 3, Here Comes the Winner. Number 2, Inspire the Liars. And number 1, the absolute generic fuckboy answer to the question, what is the best song on Mothership? Chucky versus the Giant Tortoise. We did it, boys. It was a hard-fought, long, arduous process, but we did it. We ranked all these songs in the proper order, and I feel pretty good about it.
I don't. That's okay. We did it, guys. We made it.
Kyle kind of got fucked over, but I think that
I'm dead.
That's okay, Kyle. The next one will be easier for you, I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see.
So thank you, everybody, for tuning in to this episode of The Boys Rank Songs from Albums. This has been a super, super fun series for us to make, and we are going to keep it going. Next up, we're going to be doing the next album in reverse chronological order. Brennan and I's personal little boy, it's Instant Gratification, and that's going to be a really rough one for me personally, at least, because I have a lot of personal attachment to that album.
Oh, baby.
That's
going to be a slugfest.
So
what was that, Kyle?
No, I was just saying that what Mothership is to me is what Instant Gratification is to you guys. So it is just my pain for 2 people.
I'm both super excited for it and kind of terrified.
Yeah.
But we'll get to that in a few weeks, hopefully. Once again, I said this at the beginning of the podcast, and I want to just kind of touch on this again, but thank you guys so much for all the support that you've been giving us over these last few DGD album review videos. We got a lot more support than we ever thought we would, and I know in the grand scheme of things it's still not a lot, but since we're still a very small startup channel, all of your words of encouragement and positivity has really been encouraging and helped us to stay motivated to keep making these videos and keep this content coming out. So we're really, really glad that you guys are enjoying these. We hope you enjoyed this one as well. And it really means a lot to us. And if you liked this video, please make sure to give it a thumbs up to let us know. And leave some thoughts in the comments below. What are your personal rankings? How angry are you that we put Young Robot at 4? Just lay it on us. We would love to hear all of your thoughts and opinions.
Join me.
Kyle's dumb.
Kyle's dumb. Top comment's gonna be Kyle's dumb. From me, my personal account. I'm gonna...
I'll fucking write that shit. Kyle's opinion is shit.
No. Nope. No.
If you guys like listening to our voices, please consider subscribing to the Talks a Lot Boys. We have done 2 more of these DGD album rankings for Artificial Selection and Afterburner. If you haven't listened to them, I would highly recommend go checking them out. And also, we primarily do another show called the Tippity Top Podcast, where we kind of just make personal lists for things that we like for random different topics. Recently, we just put out a top 10 of the 3 of our personal top 10 bands, and that was a really fun one. So if you enjoyed this, you'll probably enjoy that one too. Spoiler alert, DGD is pretty high. So definitely go check that out if you haven't already. We would appreciate that a ton, and I really hope that you check out some of our other stuff. It'd be really cool. I guess until next time, we have been the Talk Slut Boys, and we'll talk a whole lot more next time. We'll see you later.